Welcome to this final lecture in the social media strategy section. It's important to note something that I mentioned previously in the introduction to this section of the course. It's that companies with a strategy are much more successful than those without a strategy. Yes, creating a strategy can be a difficult task, and it can be boring as well, especially when you're new to social media or, like yourself, you have a whole course of exciting content ahead of you. For that reason, you've got two options at this stage, I'd say. The first one is you can create a basic strategy based on everything you've learned so far by setting goals, your visions, competitor research, that sort of thing. Or what I'd highly recommend is you watch this lecture so you can kind of get one last understanding of the strategy, but then come back to it at the end of the course to create your full strategy. That's because you're likely to have a changing point of view on what you want to achieve as you learn more about the exciting techniques of social media. As with goal setting and auditing, your strategy isn't static. So rather than thinking of your strategy as one document, think of the strategy as a process, and it's made up of tasks. And tasks in turn help you achieve your goals. And the goals are essentially there to bring you closer to your vision. Keep this famous quote in mind when executing your strategy. Because strategies contain tasks, and then of course tasks get completed. And completed tasks need replacing, or you stand still. And when you complete tasks, or begin to complete them, they also throw up new challenges and unexpected outcomes. So, your strategy then becomes an evolving process. That process looks something like this. You listen, monitor and audit at the first part of the process. Now, we've covered auditing, and we'll cover listening and monitoring at a later date. Once you've listened and monitored and audited, you then think about the outcomes, and you translate that into a plan, into goals, into tasks. Once you conduct your plan, you refine it as you need, and that process then starts again. In the download section of this course, we have provided you with a social media strategy template. It contains sections for visions, goals, and tasks. It also breaks things down into individual networks. This will give you a more holistic view of what needs to be done and where on social media it needs to be done, as well of course as having that overarching plan. As we've been going through this section, we've already been creating our baseline strategy. To complement your strategy, in the download section you'll also find something called the Social Media Playbook. The Social Media Playbook is a briefing that on one page instantly gives your team a snapshot of what's expected of them. Who is responsible for what, and when are they responsible, and on which platform. And this can be updated on a weekly, monthly or quarterly basis depending on the amount and volume of stuff you're doing on social media. As we go through this course, you're going to learn about content planning and other resources in the relevant sections. Now it's time to go ahead and get started with learning about all the amazing things social media platforms